Welcome back to another video, and today we will be doing a first impression video on some new summer makeup products. Today we're having quite an exciting one, so we are testing out 4, I'd say more than higher end products, and 3 of these are actually like new to the market products, and one of them was a gift with purchase, which I haven't tried the product before, so I thought it would be fun to throw it in. So today for the eyes we will be testing the Dior newest Backstage palette. So this is the Warm Essentials palette, and this has been just recently released, and I managed to grab this from my department store. Then we will be testing something that I did get with as a gift of purchase. So this is the Dior Maximizer 3D. So this is a lash primer, and I think aside from few of the I remember having a L'Oreal mascara. It was one of their OG mascaras that had the sort of primer side. It was the one in the red white tube. I think there was the primer side and then there was the mascara side, but aside from that I don't think I have tried a separate lash primer for many years, so this will be an interesting to try. And I will be trying this out with a mascara that I have used before, which I think is a good starting point, so I can actually tell that does this make a difference. And then for the cheeks we will be trying one of the Fenty's newest summer blushes. So these are the limited edition baked blushes that Fenty came out with their summer release recently. And then we have a also another Fenty product. So these are the lip oils that were released with the blushes. So let's now first start with the eyes, I think, and then we will move to the cheeks and then lastly to the lip oil. Okay, so just as we always do with the eyes, I will be doing this side first on the camera, then I will do the cleaning up and the other eye off camera, and but you will sort of see how the application goes. So this is what we're working with today. So this is the newest Dior Backstage palette. So this is the 003 Warm Essentials, and I did discuss in my makeup news video recently that the 2 Dior Backstage palettes that I had previously, those aren't warm toned. I have the Smoky Essential and the Silver Essentials, but Dior has come out previously with quite many warm toned Backstage palettes in past. So especially with this particular palette, I would seriously, if you have a lot of Backstage palettes, go through your collection and see that you already have this. And I will try to use as many shades as possible. Now let's get this open. So I think we will start with Dior shades. They actually do have names in the back, I think, but they are sort of upside down. But first shade I will be using all over my crease is this one, though this sort of, I think, is like beigey, bit of a muted peach color over here, and we shall see. Based on the swatches, this is quite promising. I'd say that the Smoky Essentials, that's the previous palette before this one, that had a bit more, I'd say the tones were all over quite muted, so swatches of that didn't look, I think, anything too special when I remember swatching it, and it did perform as well as the Silver Essentials did. However, I did feel that because the tones overall in that one were very muted compared to the Silver Essentials one, so that's why, while the performance of the palette was quite as good, the looks all over were quite more on the more muted side. But this one, based on the swatches, seems very promising. All the shades felt quite creamy, and there is quite a lot of punch to them. And yeah, this is building and blending very well. So this is very, yeah, that's built very easily, and there's quite a lot of punch to it. Then I think we will stay with the warm tone realm, and I think I'll try to use 4 shades, even though not all of them might not show up in the final look, but just so that we will get to try out most of it. So I think for the middle part of the lid I will use this orange shade over here, and it is this sort of, I'd say, more brick colored orange. So we shall see how that will apply, and now I'm trying to look for a suitable brush. Yeah, that is also building quite nicely. I would say that this again has I think matte and satin shades. I'm not too sure how Dior has categorized it is in the back of the palette, but most of them are quite matte and satin. There was, I think, one shimmer, one of the gold in the sort of upper corner, in the middle of the upper row, that I think best in the swatch video. I do have a YouTube Shorts swatch video of this that shows all the shades swatch. So there is one gold shade that has a bit more like sparkle to it, but it's not like super something like if you're thinking about indie shadows or something like that. So it's not like anything like super sparkly, but I did feel that that had a bit more shine compared to the sort of other shades that I swatched. And that also, the brick color also did build quite quickly, and it also blended in very well. So I am actually happy in terms of deepening up shade that they didn't put the matte black in this one, because both the Smoky Essentials and Silver Essentials both had the sort of black shade as a deepening up shade. So when you're starting to collect like these palettes, if you start having like the same sort of deepening up shades over and over again, it gets a bit boring. So I'm quite happy that they actually went with the matte brown. So I am taking this sort of darkish brown color over here and will put it in my outer corner. Again, I am with the blacks. I have said with the both previous palettes that I have from the Backstage line that those are very easy to work with. They build nicely, but they also blend very effortlessly, which is something that as a person who has a fair skin, I very much appreciate that, because otherwise I will look like a panda. But this brown is definitely building up and also blending in. I do have a bit of texture in the outer parts of my lid space, so that is always something to see that if the shadow will adhere to it, but it is sticking relatively well. Yeah, I am liking that quite well. Yeah, that blended in very nicely and also built very quickly. Okay, then for the shimmer, there is, as I said, so this gold one is the one that I said that did swatch out, that it has a bit more sparkle, but I do think that the showstopper shade that is meant to be the sort of like bit more special shade. Of course, this is Dior Backstage palette, so you aren't gonna get again anything multi-chromes or duochromes, but something that did have a bit of a flip, so this sort of very bright curly shade in the middle. So I will be trying that one, and I think I'll just use a finger to apply this one. I think I actually might have mixed up the shade. It might have been actually the sort of melon colored shade that I was thinking that had a bit of a golden shift to it, but oh well, we shall go with this one. It is actually, I think, bringing a nice pop of color to the middle of the lid. Yeah, I think I will go with the the brick shade to the sort of fill in the inner corner. Yeah, I'd say that is actually, like, considering that that's now 4 shades use of this palette, this is looking pretty. Yeah, I'd say that so far first impressions about the palette, I am quite impressed. I will now go off camera and I will do the other eye, and then we will get to the part of testing the sort of mascara primer that I have for today. But yeah, very pleasantly, I'd say this might be, at least based on like first impression, this is definitely like, I'm quite liking this, even though I'm not usually a fan of this sort of very, like this warm toned, punchy, orangey, reddish color stories, but this is actually like, it's very nice to work with, and so far I am actually liking the color combination that I managed to create, so yeah. But yeah, I'm getting off camera now and we will soon be getting back and I will have both of my eyes done. So, both of the eyes are done and let's now get to the mascara part. So, we will be testing out the Dior 3D Maximizer Lash Primer, and what we'll be using with is the Fenty Beauty Healthy Mascara. This is a sample that I got with when I bought the Fenty sort of the summer products from Fenty. but I have tried this mascara before, and I have mentioned last year in one of my videos, I think, that while I thought that this did give nice length to me, I didn't feel that it gave me the volume that I wanted, so this isn't especially considering that Fenty is a more like higher end brand, this was something that I was happy that I got to test out, but came into the conclusion that I don't want to buy like a full size of it, but because I know how this has performed without the primer before, so it is actually good to see how does the primer actually make it better. And again, we will be doing this eye on the camera, and I will be applying the primer, and then I will be applying the Fenty mascara. And this has a rather thick rubber wand, so we shall see how that I will feel about that. And this is obviously, because it's a lash primer, it's gonna go white on the I think, at least based on the like, probably it's quite hard to see it on the camera because it is essentially just like applying white mascara on your lashes, but it is, I think, giving a bit of lift to the lashes. I'm not exactly a fan of the applicator. I think the mascara wand is a bit too big for my taste, as if in how big I like my mascara wand, so yeah. That's now 2 coats of the lash primer on my lashes, and now let's get to the Fenty one. I did like the applicator of the Fenty Helvetic mascara, so it has this sort of an hour, or so, not hourglass, triangle kind of a one, so it is actually quite easy, especially if you have a smaller eye shape, to use this kind of a mascara. And formula of the Fenty one still seems to be the same as previously, so this is a bit of a drier. Formula. I am not sure did the lash primer. I did feel that the lash primer did give some lift to the lashes, but yeah. I'm gonna go over now a second layer because that is how I would do normally with a mascara, so I like to do 2 layers just to see does it have an impact. That's as good as it's gonna get. So I think with this one, compared to how I remember the sort of using the Helvetic mascara like without it, I could actually do I could maybe do a comparison, like applying the Fenty mascara without the primer to the other eye, but because I am filming another video after this, I want to have my lashes sort of even. But I do think, at least based on the first impression of trying this out, I did feel, compared to when using the Fenty mascara in the past without it, was that it did give lift to my lashes. That's the first like visible impact, and I do think that it was easier to build length with the Fenty mascara. So I do feel that my lashes are actually quite long when I'm looking at them from my mirror. I don't think this helped with in terms of like getting volume to the lashes, but I do feel that they did get longer quite quickly compared to if I would have just used the sort of Fenty mascara on its own. But yeah, I'm gonna now do the other side, and then we shall move to the cheek products next, or the cheek product that I have for this video. So, lashes are on, and let's now get to the cheek products. And for today, I think, because I will be just doing like filming after this, so I don't think I will be like doing contouring, that sort of stuff, and just try the products that are meant to be tried on this video. So, for the cheeks, and actually this is kind of a product that I think we will be doing both the highlighter and blush in one. So we are trying the Fenty Beauty Baked Blushes, and this is the Fresh Peach, is the shade that I got mine in. And I'm already gonna say I'm a bit scared. So we all know that I have quite often said that glowy blushes that look almost like a sort of metallic eyeshadow aren't sort of my thing, and this kinda is just that kind of product. I mean, I think even the I don't think even the Rare Beauty, like Rare Beauty is not a brand that I can't get it. It's not available in my country. Based on the swatches that I've seen, this might be even like shinier than that one. So how should I say? I don't know how we ended up into this particular situation, but they were available. They looked very pretty on the store, and also I do have to say, like these were over 35 euros, but these weren't as expensive as the highlighters, because even initially when I saw these being like released, there's apparently thunderstorm going to come soon over our house, so let's see how the film is going to continue. But anyway, back to the blush. So initially when I saw this Fenty release the promo images of this, I thought that because these were like in the same sort of compact as the, I have the highlighter here, so I thought that obviously like this is gonna be the same price as this one. These were like 40 euros, but these are actually under, these were 30, I think 36 or 38 euros, so definitely not like cheap products by any means, but compared to this, that from a single highlighter I paid over 40 euros, this was very reasonable compared to that one, even though it's still expensive. But yeah, I'm gonna stop blabbering now. Let's see how this is gonna look on my cheek and how horrified I'm going to be, because this definitely wasn't perhaps the type of product I should have been buying, but it was still very pretty. And it has a quite strong gold shift to it, so I think this is definitely going to be one of those products that we can like skip the highlighter, because it's gonna do the highlighting for us. But I do say that it at least I think it will match with my eye look today, so we are having this sort of very summery, warm summery look today. And I am definitely seeing the golden sheen when I am applying this to my cheek. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought that it would be, but the gold shift it is definitely like visible. I am perhaps, it was a good thing that I took I think the Fresh Peach shade is the like fairest shade that they have, because the other two of these, because they have altogether 3 shades I think with this limited edition summer blushes, and all of the 2 other shades were quite like I'd say more to medium to tan to deep skin tone friendly, so I do think it was quite good that I did take this one, which I think is meant to be the shade for those of us who have a bit of a fairer skin. So okay, I'm not hating this completely, but the strong gold shift, it is definitely there. Even though I am now in a lighting condition, it might seem that there's quite harsh light, but that's because daylight comes straight from the window beside me. But because I am in a sort of normal kitchen lighting condition, I'm just thinking that if I would be in a more, I would have those professional studio lights, then this would probably look even glowier. But in terms of formula, very smooth. I would say that there's no blending issues. I think this blended in quite well, but yeah, so this is how it's looking. I'd say as a first impression, you really have to like your gold shift if you're buying this shade. I do think that generally I did swatch quickly all the shades because they had all of them in the store, and all of them did have quite of a strong, they are definitely they are very glowy blushes generally. But I'm not so sure that the other 2 shades that are a bit deeper than this one, that they have such a strong shift to the sort of highlighter shades that mixed in with the blush. But especially with this particular shade, if you don't like a golden sort of flip on your cheek, then this is not the product for you. I'm a bit 50-50 on this, that am I liking this, or is this do I feel like I have gold eyeshadow all over my cheeks. But we shall, this is definitely a product I have to keep testing for a couple of weeks to see what's my sort of end conclusion of it. But in terms of blending out, working with this, it was quite easy, but that's what I expected. I have liked aside from the Fenty's like the cream blushes that they have, I have generally liked Fenty's like cheek products, so I was expecting that formula wise I expected this to be something I do like, but just at the finish of it I will have to keep testing it out and see how I will like it. But yeah, let's now get to the last part of this video, which is testing out the lip oil that Fenty brought in the same sort of summer launch. So the last product of today, so these are the Fenty sort of in the Gloss Bomb series, and now Fenty has lip oils, and mine is in the shade, it's really small in the back. So Frosted Bunz is the shade, and this was sort of the middle shade because they have a more darker, they have three, as with the blushes, they have three shades in this lip oil series. So they have one which is almost like it's a see-through gloss that has a very strong gold reflex to it. Then there's this one which is a middle shade, and then they have a very strong like deeper bronzy shade. And I'm gonna try this out without a lip liner because I do want to like see how this looks without having anything under it. But I do think that in a normal day-to-day use I would probably put a more orangey brownish leaning lip liner underneath. Something that I was not a fan of, they have changed the applicator, so I don't know yet because I haven't tried how this is applying to a lip, but I would have wished they would have kept the Gloss Bomb applicator because I have liked the doe foot applicator that the traditional Gloss Bomb glosses have. So these paddles, usually I'm not a fan of them, but let's put this on the lips and see how it applies. Okay, that is one layer. I am going to put a bit more on my upper lip. It has quite this sort of an vanilla-esque scent to it. I think the Gloss Bombs, they do have a bit of a different kind of scent, so this I think has a bit of a sweeter scent to it. Yeah, I think that's as much as we're gonna get with that one. So, first impressions about this one, I am liking the shade and I do think this has very nice sparkles. Did we particularly need this product? Because I am kind of debating what's the difference between this and the glosses. I did actually ask the sales or sort of the Fenty sales clerk that was on the Fenty counter that how is this exactly different from the glosses, because at least based on the shimmer this does look like kind of any other of the gloss bombs. So if it didn't have the sort of lip oil on its packaging, I don't think I would be able to tell, at least based on just looking at this, that is this the gloss bomb, like gloss formulated lip oil. And the sales clerk sort of said it that, well, because it has the lip oil part of it, it's more like hydrating to the lips. But I do think, also believe that the gloss bomb glosses have been advertised as something that bring hydration to the lips. So yeah, I think if this would have been like a traditional, more like a not sort of sparkly but more sort of a glossy lip oil, then I could have said that yeah, okay, maybe those are like clearly like different product. But then again, Fenty also does have a sort of lip, the gloss bomb formula without the sort of like sparkles. I think I might have one shade that I got with the Christmas set from Fenty last Christmas that had like 3 different, like I had one from each of the formulas that they do the gloss bombs on, so that again would have made me think that okay, but where did we need this one? But it does feel comfortable on the lips. The applicator, I am not such a big fan on. I mean, I was able to get a good even layer with this one. It was a bit clumsy to apply this to my upper lip. My upper lip is not as, well, I am getting my 30s, so altogether it's not maybe as full as it used to be, but also my upper lip isn't like super big or anything, so I do need something quite precise to apply products to it. And I did feel that this was a bit like clumsy way to apply it to like smaller areas. To the bottom lip I think it was like alright, but I think it would have been nice if the brand would have just kept the same applicator that they have in the sort of traditional gloss bombs. But yeah, I'm gonna now take the hair clips off and then we will sort of get the final conclusions of products, so what I liked and what maybe wasn't such a hit on this first impressions video. So the hair is out, and I already am going to apologize if it's looking a bit oily again, but we have had like now a couple of weeks, there's been like just high heat temperatures for our country. So in our country, they usually what the temperatures around this time of the year are, it's somewhere between 17 and 20 Celsius degrees. However, we have now had like a few weeks time when it's been like around 25 to 28 Celsius degrees, which is like very warm for what I am and what generally I think people are used to, but that's I think what the climate change unfortunately does. But yeah. So about the products, I definitely think we have some wins and maybe then not so wins, at least based on first impressions. So something that I am liking so far is this one, so the Dior Backstage Warm Essentials palette. I am going to, why are these always so hard to open? So I tried 4 shades out of the 9, so almost half of the shades, and I do have to say so far quite impressed. I do think that this has some same elements to the shade as the Silver Essentials had, where they are quite punchy and still very easy to work with. I am very excited in terms of creating more looks with this one, and I do feel that in terms of now the Backstage palettes, that I do have this now sort of like filled in a gap that I had in that collection. But I will be getting back with this one as I do with all of my products, so I will get this will be included in a collective eyeshadow palette review later on. Then I think the sort of second favorite, despite maybe some of its drawbacks, was this one, so the lip oil. Despite the applicator and despite maybe thinking that did we really need this, considering how similar this looks with the Gloss Bomb glosses, it is still like, I like the shade, it is very comfortable to wear. The paddle applicator, not my favorite, but still very nice. And I do think, like, understand that this fits very well with the whole summer collection theme that Fenty has going on. And lip oils have been very trendy this year, so it kind of makes sense that this was launched. Then something maybe that was a bit of a meh product, so this Dior lash primer. I do think that this did give the lashes nice length, and it did make like the mascara maybe apply like for example, like I said, it made the hella thick mascara that I was trying with this one, that it did, I feel the mascara build a bit quicker. However, the applicator of this one, as I did perhaps mention, this is quite of a thick one, and I am someone who has the eyes that are on the smaller side, so I think this would be a product that it's nice that I will be able to try this out and use this up, but I'm already like, know that this probably is something that I would not especially pay Dior prices for, because it's a Dior product, so full size of this is probably very expensive. Then perhaps the only product that I am a bit on the fence about, so it's the Fenty blush. So I will have to keep testing this one out and see how I will like about this one, because it is like, it's a very pretty shade. It was very nice to work with, but the gold sort of gold effect it is gives to your cheek, it is bit getting on the side that does it look a bit like almost funny. Maybe I think on some other skin tone this could maybe like look a bit better, maybe with someone who has a bit more warmer and like more like medium skin tone, but on a fairer skin tone, and especially someone who has a rose gold undertone, this is a bit on the fence that is this looking a bit funny. But I will keep testing this out, and as all with the other products, this will be included in a collective product review video later. But yeah, those were all the products. Comment down below, have you been testing out any of these products and what did you think about them, or has there been any other cool summer makeup launches that you have been trying out and liking? If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from my future content. You can also find me with the same nickname, Makeup Hedgehog, on Instagram. I hope I will be seeing you again soon. Bye bye!